I'm Tony Sklar with BNet TV. We are here at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and I am having the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Steven Glapa from Ruckus. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. We're having a good show.
It is a fantastic show, and the numbers are up massively.
Ours are too. We were looking at there's a lot of trouble finding room for new customers in the meeting schedule because we've got so much interest.
You know, it's basically 8,000 new attendees for this particular show. Mm-hmm. The reason why I continue to open with that particular line is that the ecosystem is expanding at a massive rate. And so there's a lot of new players that are entering the space, whether it's an over-the-top provider or it's just new infrastructure that's being put into place to help get that throughput, which is sort of where we're going to talk about and where Ruckus comes to. So for our first-time viewers out there in BNet TV land, give us a brief overview of Ruckus and where you fit within the ecosystem.
Sure thing. So we've been in business since about 2004. We have been focusing from the inception on doing Wi-Fi better than anybody else. And that started out with IPTV distribution in the home, moved into the enterprise, and we've been in the carrier business now in a big way for the last couple of years as the mobile internet demand curve that we all know and love has broken right through any of the capacity that anybody can provide in the license spectrum in high density environments.
Is it more cost effective for a carrier in a dense area to use a Wi-Fi offload for infrastructure that they don't maybe have the capacity to upgrade to right away?
Well, so some of that depends on the operator's circumstances. Our customer KDDI in Japan that is deploying our APs to the tune of tens of thousands per month, got a network of about 300,000 in their plans. They did the calculations and found that Wi-Fi was going to cost them about 1/10 as much as doing it with license band cellular technology.
Right, okay. And
so
with the limited amount of spectrum that's out there to begin with, right, you don't want to, for lack of a better term, provide more anger to your customers at the end of the day who are already angry enough to begin with.
Exactly. So there's this kind of an extreme case, and in a way it's a stop on the road to what we see as the ultimate goal of the operators, which is to use every tool they can get their hands on in these high-density environments. So LTE plus Wi-Fi is the wave that you're going to see next.
So let's talk about the news that you got here. It's sort of up here behind my shoulder here, but the new product that you've just launched.
Yeah, so one of the key challenges in delivering these high-density nodes in urban environments is basically the dumb mechanics of what can you put on the pole? What will the city allow you to mount? What will the shopping mall allow you to put up in their space? Because it has to be visually low impact, right? And the technical challenge of delivering a lot of capacity in the licensed band and the unlicensed bands, and by the way, that's kind of 3 radios worth of stuff, and then you got to do a radio for backhaul. Right. Putting all that in one box is, frankly, no small challenge.
For lack of a better term.
No pun intended. So what we've done is we've taken this adaptive antenna trick that we've been doing for all these years to make our Wi-Fi better and applied that to that very problem. And so the box you see out behind you is a combination of a 4 radio presence with no external antennas, which nobody else in the industry is doing.
So that's actually fantastic, and congratulations on that. Is that product that was announced today, when is it available in the marketplace?
We're in trials with it now, and it'll be rolling in volume probably by about mid-year.
And where do you see that largest capacity going? Like, where do you see a lot of that infrastructure being implemented?
So anywhere you have large numbers of smartphone users in concentration, you'll see a lot of interest in this. So we're seeing it in London. The UK has a number of networks going in. Tokyo, I've mentioned hundreds of thousands of APs going in there. Basically every major city in the world. United States, some in Latin America, lots in Europe, lots in Asia.
Well, I think it's great to hear the use case of somebody like KDDI, right, that is saying, hey, it's going to cost us this much compared to this much when making sure that our we can still sell phones at the end of the day, which is increasing that ARPU, which is they can't let that go, but they got to make the end user happy.
Right, exactly. And so what you'll find as you get, a lot of people have an experience of Wi-Fi as kind of a flaky technology. They've had bad experiences in airports and hotels and whatever. Part of that is they were using the wrong Wi-Fi, it wasn't ours. Part of that is these hotspot networks in the past were pretty underinvested because the business model never really made a lot of sense as a standalone. Sure. But if you're a service provider who's worried about churn, subscriber retention, getting better ARPU out of the customer relationship, what you invest in Wi-Fi becomes kind of more on the caliber of what you're doing in your license spectrum technology, and then the user experience is delightful of that kind of Wi-Fi as opposed to your standard hotspot.
I always bring up a funny case. You have conferences like this, 60,000 plus people, and then there's many others as well. We're all on our devices. demos going on at this conference or conferences like this particular. There's so much demand that's sitting in such a small area.
Right.
It's devices like that infrastructure needs to be put into place to help smooth out those issues.
We just did an event for Verizon and NBC in the United States a couple of months ago. It's called Education Nation. 2 days of hundreds and hundreds of leaders from education all across the country get together in Rockefeller Center on the skating rink, basically.
Okay.
And the incumbent vendors for Verizon, who provides all the network capacity for that, and I won't mention the name, starts with C and A, they actually declined to participate. They did not want to even attempt to deliver good Wi-Fi coverage to that event because when you stand on the rink and you turn your phone on, you can see 350 access points from all the buildings around you.
Right.
Ruckus came in and said, we got this.
No problem.
We put up 6 APs, we delivered 200 gigs of traffic in 2 days to hundreds of people. NBC, the education people, Verizon, they all came away going, man, this stuff is great.
You know what? I'm going to leave that interview right here because I think that you just nailed it. You proved your point, and Ruckus is well positioned within the marketplace. If you can do that, you can do anything. If you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere.
And you can imagine where our relationship with Verizon went from there.
I can imagine. Steven, thanks very much for taking the opportunity to speak with us.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Hope we get a chance for an update again in the future. I've been speaking with Steven Glapa from Ruckus. I'm Tony Sklar with BNet TV here at Mobile World Congress 2012.